Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd do an updated foundation routine. I'm using a lot of new products compared to what I was using kind of a year or two ago. Also, I've been using new products for my eyebrows, just new products for my concealer and everything, so I thought I'd show you guys my basic face routine. I hope you guys like it. It's actually been requested quite a few times, my foundation routine, so I'm finally getting around to it. Also during the routine, I'm going to show you guys some of my favourite drugstore alternatives to the more high-end products as well. So first thing I do is moisturise my lips. So at the moment I'm loving this Nivea lip butter. So I do that first just so it sinks in while I'm doing my makeup. So next is when I would apply a primer. Try and say apply a primer really quickly, it's really difficult. To be totally honest, I don't always use a primer because I'm one of those people that I feel like I don't personally need it that much, and my makeup tends to stay on pretty well during the day. So sometimes I skip primer, but just for the sake of like showing you a primer that I would use, this is the Makeup Forever HD, but I'm also liking the Benefit Professional. So I usually apply primer more so to the middle of my face and where I have large pores, so it can fill them in a bit. So next I go in with foundation, and I'm going to show you the foundation that is like my favourite foundation is the NARS Sheer Glow. It's been my favourite for quite a while now, but I thought I'd show you like one of my drugstore favourites as well, is the L'Oreal True Match foundation. They do kind of chop and change, but NARS Sheer Glow has been very consistent in my makeup routine. I need to get a pump for this, but basically I just put a little bit of it onto the back of my hand, about that much-ish. And then I just dot it all over my face. The brushes that I love to use with my foundation are the Sigma Flat Kabuki brush, the F80, which I didn't like for quite a while and then now I like it again. And one that is like a holy grail brush for me is the Real Techniques buffing brush. So I find that this brush just blends it in so well and like nicely to the skin. I take it down onto my neck as well. Ooh, that sounds really weird. Anyway, I love this foundation because it just melts into the skin, and I've spoken about it loads before, so I'm not going to bore you guys. If I feel like I don't have enough coverage for that day, because sometimes I'm more like spotty than others, I'll put a little bit more foundation on, but I think today I'm kind of alright, and I'll sort it out with a bit of concealer. So next I conceal, and I always start off by doing under my eyes, and then I go and cover any blemishes that are happening on my face. Recently I've started to use this actually, because I like it to kind of highlight the under eye area a little bit more. It's the MAC Prep and Prime, what is it called? Highlighter in Light Boost. A cheaper alternative would be the Collection 2000 Illuminating Touch pen, and I think that L'Oreal also do one like this. I don't like to put oh, that looks like a lot. I don't like to put too much on, because if I put too much product on under my eyes, it really tends to crease and go kind of cakey under the eyes, so I try not to put too much on. I like my base to kind of look slightly glowy or slightly dewy, and quite natural. I try to get it quite natural. Sometimes I'll blend this in using a brush, but sometimes I just use my fingers. It depends if I'm in a rush or however the mood strikes. Then I use a concealer and go over top. I have to say as well, before I use the highlighter, I would use my Bobbi Brown corrector, which is also a really, really good product. I've just run out of it and I haven't had a chance to repurchase it, and I'm just trying new things out. So next I'm using the MAC Moisture Cover. This is a new product in NC35. And then I'm going to use that with my Sigma Precision Angle Brush, which looks like that. And I love this because it's tapered, it just fits perfectly under the eye. So I just apply a bit. This is actually slightly dark, but it's fine, it blends in alright with my skin tone. And then using the brush, I blend it out. I do have hereditary dark circles under my eyes, and also under my eyes is slightly prone to creasing, so I don't have a lot of fun times under my eyes. So I'm recently using an eye cream too to try to combat and help the situation under there. That sounded wrong. Okay, and then for spots and blemishes and all that jazz, the best the best concealer I found for that is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. A good cheaper alternative is the, as you guys probably know, the Collection 2000 Lasting Perfection Concealer, which is I like to use the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, which looks a little bit like this. It's domed and it's just, I don't know, just really good for like hitting a spot, no pun intended. So I usually apply it to the area, or do it just using the brush on its own, and then blend that out. I also like to lighten up other areas like around my mouth, which is a little bit darker than other areas on my face. So next I'm going to powder to set it all, to make sure the concealer doesn't rub off and to make sure my T-zone doesn't get too oily during the day. So at the moment I'm loving this powder. It's a new discovery. It's the MAC Studio Fix powder. It's a foundation as well, so I only use kind of a small amount because I don't want it to be too much coverage on my face, but I love the finish it gives. But another powder I love, which is drugstore, and that I really recommend because I've been loving it too, is the Maybelline Fit Me powder, which also is like this, and then it also has an underneath bit like that one does. So I really like this one too. My shade in this one is 315 Soft Honey, and my Studio Fix powder is in NC40. To powder my face, I don't like to use too much of a dense brush because then it will pack the powder on way too heavily. I've been loving this brush. It's the Real Techniques blush brush, so I just swirl it in a little bit. And I try to kind of pat it into the skin. I focus more on the middle of my face because that's where I tend to get a little bit oily, and I also want to set under my eyes. And then my massive forehead. The other day someone asked me if I would ever get surgery on my forehead to make it smaller. No, I wouldn't. They said they were thinking about it and I'm like, no, don't do that unless you're really upset about it, unless it really affects your day-to-day life. I'd never do that. I also powder my neck a little bit. So the first thing I use is my Anastasia Brow Wiz brow pencil, which is a retractable one. But I have to say you can get loads of dupes for this product. One is the Collection 2000 eyebrow definer, and this colour is in blonde, but I should probably get a slightly darker one. So firstly I give them a really quick brush with an eyebrow brush or a spoolie, just so they're in the right direction so I know I can kind of see what I'm doing. So I have some kind of guideline. My eyebrows are naturally quite sparse. The hairs are kind of a medium colour. They're not that light, they're not very dark. They're very sparse at the ends here, they always have been. To try and get a fuller brow, I firstly start at the front here, but I try not to go too heavy or anything on the front. If you go too heavy here, it will look very unnatural. So at the moment, I've been outlining them. I'll also make sure I don't have any stray hairs, but I plucked them not too long ago, so they should be alright. So I don't fill it in too much with a pencil. Then I'll use an eyebrow brush, and this one is the Sigma Angled Brow Brush E75, and either some of my MAC eyebrow duo, which is Cork and Espresso eyeshadows, or my Sleek Brow Kit, which I love. Recently I've been using this one, so I'm going to use that one today. And powders are great for filling in brows because they look a lot more natural and lighter, and they're really easy to work with. So I just start from around there and fill in the gaps. I also do a few strokes at the front here, upwards, which will hopefully look like natural brows, and you know at the front where it's a little bit more not messy but unruly. So this is my everyday brow routine really. I can get more into it, but you know on the daily you're not really wanting to sit there for 20 minutes doing the brows. Sometimes I find espresso comes off a little bit dark, so I'll brush through them again, which tones it down a little bit. And then sometimes I'll use my HD Brow Beater, which is basically the same as clear mascara, but more pricey, to set the brows. I usually brush upwards and across. I feel that the lighting's a bit better, like when I block the lights out. So I hope you guys like this tutorial. This is my daily go-to routine for when I do it. Let me know if you like this, or if you want to see any other similar videos that are like this, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye! Mwah.